Madhava Kunja Bihar Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. Can I get an asam from you? Sir? Can I get a mat for you? Yes. More than capable. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जायमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, the Summum and Bonum, the deliverance of Muchkunda. So we have got 6 verses today. Text 58. So the Lord is speaking. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Sarvabhauma Maharaja Matiste Vimalojjita Varai Pralobhitasyapi Nakamair Vihitayata. Translation by the disciples of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Supreme Lord said, O Emperor, great ruler, your mind is pure and potent. Though I enticed you with benedictions, your mind was not overcome by material desires. Pralobhito varairyatva apramadaya vidhitat na dhirekanta bhakti nama shirbhi bhidyate kvachit. Understand that I enticed you with benedictions just to prove that you would not be deceived. The intelligence of my unalloyed devotees is never diverted by material blessings. Yunjannanam abhaktanam pranayamadibhirmanaha akshina rajan drishyate punarutthitam. The minds of non-devotees who engage in such practices as pranayama are not fully cleansed of material desires. Thus, O king, material desires are again seen to arise in their minds. Vicharasva mahim kamam mayaveshita manasaha astvevam nityada tubhyam bhaktir maya napayini. Wander this earth at will with your mind fixed on me, may you always possess such unfailing devotion for me. Kshatra dharma sthito jantun न्यवाधिर्मृगयादिभिः समाहितस्तात tapasa jahyagham madupashritah. Because you followed the principles of a Kshatriya, you killed living beings while hunting and performing other duties. You must vanquish the sins thus incurred by carefully executing penances while remaining surrendered to me. Text 63, the last verse of this chapter. Janmani antare rajan sarvabhuta suhruttamaha bhutva dvijavarastvam vai mamupaishyasi kevalam. Translation and purport. O king, in your very next life, you will become an excellent Brahmana, the greatest well-wisher of all creatures, and certainly come to me alone. Purport. It's a very powerful purport, short purport, but Sri Krishna states in Bhagavad Gita 5.29, Suhridam sarvabhutanam gyatva mam shantirichyati. It's called the peace formula. A person attains peace by understanding me to be well-wishing friend of all living beings. Lord Krishna and his pure devotees work together to rescue fallen souls from the ocean of illusion. This is the real purport of Krishna conscious movement. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports of the purports of humble servants of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada to the 10th canto, 51st chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Deliverance of Muchkunda. The disciples of Srila Prabhupada. We chant the prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Seek the blessings of Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, all the assembled devotees, so that we can discuss something glorifying Srimad Bhagavatam, glorifying this pastime. And today is a very, very, very auspicious day, the appearance day of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, whose instruction to Srila Prabhupada is manifesting in front of our eyes as the center, or the Bhakti movement in outside the Bharatvarsha, outside Bharat Desh. So it's very auspicious day. And of course, materially speaking, also today is a very rare day. Once in 4 years we get. So today is a leap day. So
February 29th.
yeah.
What will you do with the extra day?
Devotees have only one business, always. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. So what is happening here? We are seeing for the last many days this pastime of Muchukunda, who is a great descendant in the lineage of Mandhata, and the Solar dynasty, Ikshvaku. And then, so he helped the Devatas, the demigods, in the battle, and then he wanted to take rest. He said, when Indra said, okay, you did a great favor for us, we are ready to help you. But only one thing, we cannot give you the liberation. That's beyond us. So Indra is very straightforward. And in the purports, it is written that Muchkunda is also frustrated in one sense with Indra. So, I mean, not that. I mean, he said that, don't ask me again. Don't pull me again into this business. So that's why he gave he asked for a benediction that who I want to sleep, and then whoever disturbs my sleep, whoever wakes me up, I'll see them and then I'll burn them or incinerate them. So the thing is, in the purpose, it's written that Indra, please don't disturb me again. So that's what the main idea of Muchkunda is. I want to take rest. So he didn't want to enter into the business of politics and then mundane things. So he wanted to retire. So that was the state. And then Krishna is so merciful. He has some positive spiritual aspect, but now how he can be rescued? Like a person can be happy when, so there is a negative axis, there is a neutral axis, and there is a positive axis. So a person is situated, okay, I'm not committing any negative things. So that is okay. You are on a neutral platform. But how you can be happy when you do some positive things, when you engage in spiritual activities. And then how a person can engage in any sort of spiritual activity if he's sleeping, and then sleeping with for a long term, he has made a plan to sleep. So Lord is so compassionate. So I want to engage him in spiritual activities or devotional service so that he can be more happy than just sleeping. So that's why so Lord is one who engages people in his service, because when the soul serves the Lord, that is the best thing what soul can do. That is the best happiness. Nobody can snatch away that happiness. So Lord is eager to give that service to Muchkunda. Come on, wake up, Muchkunda, so that you can come back to your bhakti, come practice spiritual life. So that's how he brought this Kalayavana. Kalayavana got destroyed. And then Muchkunda woke up. He knows from the previous Gargamuni long back. You see, he was sleeping for a long time. But before he went to sleep, long back, Gargamuni said, "You are going to get the darshan of Lord, the beautiful Lord." So he remembered that. And then he asked, "Oh, I am so and so. Are you so and so, Lord? Are you so and so? Are you the same Lord?" So Lord also gave his introduction. "Yes, I am such and such. I am the Lord." And then everything is over. Now the introductions are over. Now and then he did some service. He helped Lord defeat an enemy for the entire humanity. So Lord wanted to reciprocate. So Lord said that, okay, I'll now give you a benediction. Please ask whatever you want. He didn't give any restrictions, just like Indra gave some restrictions. He didn't give any restrictions, but he wanted to see, hear what his great devotee is going to speak. And this is the time uh, Muchkunda says, "No, I don't want anything material. I just want shelter at your lotus feet." And then now Lord starts speaking. I was expecting the same. I know that you are going to ask only devotional service and nothing else. So Lord was very happy. So this is what, Lord wants us to make happy. At the same time, if we can also make Lord happy, so that is like a two-way relationship. And Lord is happy just when we are vyavasayatmika buddhe. Pinpointedly, we focused on bhakti. Remaining all things are temporary. So a wise person chooses only Lord. Now what Lord says that, see, Muchukunda, I wanted to test you. So that's why I enticed you. The word the Lord used is pralobha. So pralobha means enticement. So that which tries to deviate us from the spiritual path, enticement. Oh, this is something, this is something. And then if Lord himself wants to entice, so it is really difficult. So there are so many examples in our Srimad Bhagavatam. So Lord came as Mohini Murti, a feminine form. Generally, feminine form is very attractive, and then it bewilders a man from his proper, intelligence. And then Lord himself came as Mohini Murti. So who else, who can resist? So Lord came with a purpose. He wanted to show. He wanted to, distribute the nectar amongst the devatas. But at the same time, he wanted to glorify his greatest devotee, that is Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva was also attracted by Mohini Murti. And then that's not the point. After getting attracted by Mohini Murti, Lord Shiva was very humble. He said, Lord Shiva is supposed to be the most self-controlled person, Dhira. So Srila Prabhupada quotes him in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Who is Dhira? Lord Shiva is the Dhira, because he is the best of the sense-controlled persons. And then he was enticed by Lord Krishna in the form of Mohini Murti. And then after that, what happens is most important for us. Lord Shiva was very happy. He never felt that I'm supposed to be a sense controlled person, and then I got distracted. My life is gone, my prestige is gone, and then everything. No, he was very happy that, oh, my dear Lord overpowered me. So I'm happy. So he was so blissful. So whenever the true servant will be happy if the master overpowers the servant. So that's what, and then Lord Krishna wanted to glorify that aspect of Lord Shiva, that he's not attached to his sense controller identity. So, how Lord entices. So, there is another example in Mahabharata. So, just before the war war date is decided, and then people are trying to increase their phalanxes and then things like that. So, both Duryodhana and Arjuna, so both of them they came to Lord Krishna's place. Dwarka is like a neutral party. It's friend of both Kauravas and Pandavas. So Duryodhana and Arjuna, both of them, they came to take support from Lord Krishna. And so there was a Duryodhana actually came first, but Lord Krishna saw Arjuna first. So Lord Krishna said, Arjuna, you will get the first opportunity to choose. There is Duryodhana says, how can I came first? You should give me the priority. So he was very much worried, like if Arjuna makes a better choice. So Lord Krishna knows, what Arjuna is going to choose. So basically, Lord gave two options. I have got 10,000 army who are as strong as me. That is called Narayani Sena, who are as strong as me, and they will fight, with full elegance. I mean, I'm sorry. So they'll fight with whichever side they are. So they'll fight with full elegance. And then on the other hand, I am there. So and I will not use any weapon. So I'm just like a suggestion giving person. So he's enticing even Arjuna also. So there is strength and there is just me who is not going to fight. So whom do you want? And Duryodhana, like if Duryodhana had got the first option, so Duryodhana was very much worried what Arjuna will choose. But again, you see, as Krishna is praising here Muchkunda, similarly, Arjuna also took a very wise decision. He chose Krishna. Who else? So Arjuna didn't had any second thought. Who else? You. And then Duryodhana felt, oh, there's no other option left for me. So I have to choose the Narayani Sena. That's it. But Duryodhana was very happy. So this is what is pralobha. So oftentimes, even in our spiritual practices, Krishna entices us. Krishna is not just enticing Muchukunda. In our spiritual practice also, there are small enticements that keep coming in our path. So we need to be very careful always to stick to Lord. And then all other things will fall in place. So we'll be getting things. And then so various examples are there, like Prithu and Indra. So Prithu Maharaj once he's also a great devotee. He's an expansion of Lord himself. So Prithu Maharaj wanted to conduct an Ashwamedha sacrifice for the greater good of humanity. So he was conducting 99 sacrifices successfully. And when the 100th sacrifice was about to complete, so Indra started coming and then he started playing a foul play. He started stealing the horse so that the sacrifice will not be completed. And then he started giving a lot of troubles. And then ultimately, so Prithu Maharaj's instructor, or mentor, Lord Brahma, he came and he said that, see, Indra is very much worried that if you complete all the sacrifices, you will achieve the position of Indra. So he's very much worried. So why do you want other devotees to get worried? So can you give up this 100th sacrifice? Already you achieved 99 sacrifices. The humanity is now very much benefited by your sacrifices. So can you please pause your desire? So the greatest of Prithu Maharaj is he had some particular thoughts, but he was ready to change his thoughts at the advice of his mentor, Lord Brahma. And then because of that, because of he changing his own thought process at the advice of his mentor, Lord Vishnu was very happy. And then he came personally and he said, Prithu, I'm so happy. Prithu Maharaj, I'm so happy. And Indra was also happy because he could maintain his Indra position. There was no effect. So, but Indra was enticed by the position of Indra, but Prithu was like saved because he took shelter of his senior or his mentor, spiritually elevated person, Lord Brahma. And that pleased Lord Krishna. So this is something, when enticements come, when Lord himself tries to entice. So how we can overcome the enticements? Just sticking to the Lord's, instructions, or the devotees of the Lord who are like very sincere. So if we take shelter of them, so we'll be able to overcome those enticements. From the life story of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, he's such a erudite scholar at the age of maybe in his teenage itself he mastered this Surya Siddhanta. He's such an expert in the astrology, both Western and then Eastern. All both astrologies he was very expert, but especially the Surya Siddhanta, he's a master of that. So what happened? Like the Chancellor of Calcutta University. So he said that, look, I know you are so much dedicated to spreading the Krishna Bhakti and then practice of Krishna Bhakti, but still, I'll give you a position in the Calcutta University. You need not come. It's an honorary position. I'll give you the money. Please accept. So, without not to offend him, so he initially accepted, but later he said, no, that's not needed. So that's what we have, some education, qualification, and everything, but still, whatever is required, whatever is favorable for the practice of spiritual life, only we take that much. Beyond that, anything, it is pralobha or enticement. Right? Even his father, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur's father, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he is also an acharya in our lineage. So he's so capable because of his spiritual purity. He was like he's the magistrate of the local court, and then so he used to understand, whenever solving a case, he used to immediately understand, so who is the culprit and then who is the right person, and he used to give judgment so quickly. So it's like his performance was 10 times more than any other normal person. So this is a person who is situated on the spiritual platform. So his purity was helping him to give the judgment so fast. So the Britishers, they in Bharat was under the British rule that time. So they didn't want to lose Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, no, now it's the time for me to retire and then dedicate myself more to the spiritual activities. So the Britishers said that, no, if you are feeling that there is this lack of time, so we will arrange a direct transport right from your house to the court so that you'll save some time. So they established a new railway track so that he can travel directly. So the railway track is still there. They didn't dismantle that. So directly from his home to the court. So after that, he was getting so much favors, so that please continue, please continue. But Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, after some point, he said that no, I'm very grateful, but I have to dedicate myself. So this is what, a devotee. So there are a lot of enticements, even for the great acharyas. So Lord gives various things. But at the same time, acharyas prove by their example that, service to the Lord is the highest. We take things only till the extent it is favorable for Krishna consciousness, or else. In the next shloka, Prabhupada says that the intelligence of my unalloyed devotees is never diverted by the material blessings. Okay. So even in the case like when we get all these material opulences, so still the devotees are very much fixed. Like especially Dhruva Maharaj.
Continue to go through.
So Dhruva Maharaj is like one very nice example. So he was so intense in his spiritual practices that Lord came and then Lord appeared. He blessed it. So okay, and then he understood. So purified, got purified. But after some point of life, so once his brother was killed and in an unfair manner, so Dhruva Maharaj became very angry, and then so he started attacking the yakshas who were the cause of this, and then he was like plummeting them, and then so he was really angry. He was like going off track. As a spiritualist, that is not good for him. And then at that time, so the yakshas, because he was angry, so the yakshas, they created a big hallucination, and then Dhruva Maharaj was lost. He was confused. You imagine a person who got the vision of the Lord, the purification and then everything. Lord personally touched Dhruva Maharaj's head with the conch. And then such a person was lost, overpowered by illusion. And then what happened? At that time, again, taking shelter of the elevated devotees, so it will always help. And Dhruva Maharaj know that, so he need to take shelter. Like previously, he took shelter of his mother and Narada Muni. So when he was overpowered by this illusion, so a group of saints came and they said, so just take the holy names of the Lord. So all the illusion will be shattered. So in the midst of the war, and then there was this illusion created and Dhruva Maharaj was lost. So all of a sudden, what he did was he just followed the instructions of the devotees, exalted devotees. So he sat and then he meditated on the Lord and he took the holy names of the Lord, and then everything dispersed. So again, like why Lord says that the intelligence of his devotees is not diverted, because they always remain fixed on the lotus feet of the Lord. Lotus feet of the Lord means his devotees. So that's how we can stay focused in our spiritual life. And then in the next verse, they say that, okay, now those people who are not perfect in their spiritual practices, what will happen? So they will be overpowered by material desires. And what will happen if we are overpowered by material desires? So we will have less time for spiritual practices. Recently, I was hearing, even when we are in spiritual circles, so we need to be a little bit cautious of what? We need to be a little bit cautious of our dealings with others. If our dealings are critical, so that means that we are harming ourselves more. So then what Lord will do? So if our dealings are a little bit critical to others, so Lord will give a lot of material desires to us. And then because of material desires, what will happen? So we say that, oh, I don't have much time to practice spirituality. So we go a little bit far from devotees. And in that way, we will not at least be critical of devotees. So we may be engaged in material activities, but will not be, having any critical attitude towards devotees. So we need to be very careful. So when we are overpowered by material desires, so we need to have a check and balance. So why that is happening and things like that. And then finally, it's 7:45. So we'll just conclude with these 2 points. Ultimately, Lord said, "Oh, Muchkunda, this is all good, but you need to perform tapasya." Already Lord gave darshan. So he's seeing the Lord. He glorified such Lord with so nice prayers. At the end, what he says, again, you need to perform penance, tapasya. For what purpose? You are a kshatriya and then you committed a lot of sinful activities. So you need to perform penance. So that is just every duty has some reactions involved in it. Like a brahmana, so if he doesn't spell the mantras properly, like similarly we are chanting Hare Krishna mantra, so when we are doing a japa, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, blah, 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 sometimes we do that. So that is actually an offense to the holy name. So holy name needs to be pronounced very clearly, and then we need to be attentive. So it's not easy. So we chant 16 rounds. So how much time we are attentive? So there is an offense involved in it. Hmm. So here also, Krishna is telling to Muchkunda that there are some offenses which you have committed by killing the, animals and then everything. So perform penance, and then because of that, you'll be very much purified. And then next life, you'll become a Brahmana. So Brahmana means he just didn't live there. Brahmana means one who is well-wisher of everybody. So, and a devotee is like the best Brahmana. So he's always wishing well for everybody because he's very much in connection with the Lord, who is the well-wisher of everybody. Suhridam sarvabhutanam gyatva mam shantiruchyati. So Lord is the eternal well-wisher of everybody, and then a devotee so is connected to the Lord, so he sees everybody connected to the Lord, and then that's why he's well-wisher of everybody. And then Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, he in his life, this was one of the like I was just trying to Google, what Google says about Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, ray of Vishnu. And then the first thing it came is Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur fought against casteism. Of course, that's their own indoctrined version. But actually, there was a problem during his time. So there was this people who are by birth Brahmanas. So they were thinking that we are superior. So we are superior. By birth Brahmanas are more important than Vaishnavas. So, and Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur is like born in a Brahmana family. So, so there was a big debate and then everything in Medinipur. So there's the Brahmanas on one side and the Vaishnavas on other side. So who are more important? And then Bhaktivinoda Thakur is supposed to come because of his health issues. He said that, okay, I'm sending my son. And then Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur is too young. He's only 16 years old and then things like that. So he came to the debate, and then everybody, so they invited. So they were a little bit speculate. I mean, they're worried because Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur is a Vaishnava also. So whose side he's going to talk? And then Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur started praising how a Brahmana is very important and how he performs all his tapasya every day properly, and how he maintains such high standards of cleanliness and worship of the Lord. So all the Brahmanas started feeling, yes, no, Bimla Prasad is on our side, so we won. And then after that, he started saying the importance of Vaishnava. So how a Vaishnava is like a superset of Brahmana. So he sees the connection of every living entity to the Lord. And in that way, so he's a well-wisher of every living entity. So, and then Vaishnava is like obviously is in a better position than Brahmana. So that's what Lord is telling, that in the next life, you'll become a well-wisher of everybody. Right? And then, so this is a lesson for us. It's not that he got the darshan of the Lord, Muchkunda got the darshan of the Lord, but that is not the, best perfection of his spiritual life. So that is like the beginning. It's like the initiation. So Lord gave him instructions. Please perform tapasya, and then purify yourself. Similarly, Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, he was born to an acharya, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. His house was like completely like a spiritual world. Edina grihete bhajana deki grihete goloka bhai. So his house is like always vibrant with kirtan. So, but still, Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, when he was about to start his preaching movement, almost for a long time, so he went to Mayapur, he isolated himself in a small hut, and then he was doing intense japa, every day chanting 192 rounds. Only 22 hours he was chanting. And then it was like, what sort of austerities? He was not moving also. Like if it was raining, so he was holding umbrella with one hand, and in with other hand he was chanting his japa. And then prasad, he used to just take some more sorts of prasad, and he used to just keep it on the floor, and then he used to bend and he used to eat. So even he's born in such an extraordinary family, but still he was performing the tapasya. So it's like an instruction for all of us that, so it's not that we are comfortable at any point of time. So we are always like endeavor hard for spreading Krishna consciousness. So that's the purport last line. This is the essence of Krishna conscious movement. It's said. So it's 7:52. So I'll just summarize. So we started seeing how Lord tried to entice Muchukunda, but Muchukunda passed the test, and then Lord was very happy. Lord was saying that, okay, I know that you're sure you'll pass the test. So we saw the examples of Duryodhana and Arjuna. So how Duryodhana was enticed, but Arjuna survived the test. And then how to how to pass this test of enticement, and then being stable in our spiritual path. Just take shelter of the devotees of the Lord, advanced devotees of the Lord, so that we'll always remain safe. So we saw the examples of Prithu Maharaj. He took the shelter of Brahma. Dhruv Maharaj, he took the shelter of the sages, so when they were all in difficult situations. And then ultimately, when we are getting material desires, so that means that, so we have to do a check and balance. So why we are getting so much material desires? Because material desires will little bit drag us away from the spiritual path, from the association of devotees. So we need to carefully see. And then ultimately, we saw a brahmana or a devotee, of the Lord. He is the well-wisher of every living entity. And then we can become a well-wisher of every living entity. So when we are strongly connected to the eternal well-wisher of all living entities, that is Sri Krishna. Thank you all so much for your patient hearing. श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। शील भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर आविर्भाव महामहोत्सव की जय। तो
Thank you very much, Guru, for a wonderful class. So many wonderful pastimes, so enlightening and inspiring. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Jeffrey Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. It was beautiful. I love the part where you said that the point was to stick with the Lord. All other things will fall into place. That was wonderful. But I do have a question. So Muchakunda is from I guess 2 prior yugas, because as he was battling the devas, 2 yugas pass, right? So when he wakes up in this pastime and Kalyavana is turned to ash, is that why he has to do penance? Is it because of the sleeping? Like, because he's from a prior yuga, so he should be pure devotee already, right?
Yeah. So pure devotees, Prabhu, it's not that in Satya Yoga everybody is pure devotee. Number one. And in Satya Yoga, people were doing penance for 60,000 years. That was 1 lakh years is the duration of life. 1 lakh, 10,000, 1,000, and 100. So it's getting decreased. Satya Yoga, there are people. So the dharma was on all its 4 pillars. So everything is there. But that does not mean that we are pure devotees. So, and then he was doing his dharma of being a kshatriya, a king. So a king is supposed to be a little bit strict, hard-hearted, and then he is supposed to go for hunting in order to protect the sages who are in the forest. So while hunting, you have to be cruel to animals. So a Brahmana need not be cruel. So by nature, Brahmana will not pick up the arms. So in order to protect the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas need to pick up the arms and they have to exhibit cruelty. And then in order to atone for those cruel actions, that's why Lord is saying that please perform penance. So, but so that is one sense. Yeah. So it's just a superficial thing, but ultimately it's about like developing love for all the living entities. So that's why in the next life you'll become a Brahmana. So this is a subset. So
So the distinction being that they were dharmic, not pure. Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Yeah. So we may follow all rules and regulations. Like we know this. There's a pastime in Puranjana. So there is one devotee called Prachni Barhishat. So he was also performing all these activities regularly, do everything properly. But the love of God will not evoke by doing these activities. So these are some rules and regulations how to be conduct so that a proper social order is maintained. But at the instruction of the Lord, if you do tapasya, so what sort of tapasya? Maybe meditation, holy names, So then naturally we get that love of God. And when love of God is there, then we will be suhrudam sarvadehina. So we will be like friend of every living entity. So yeah. Yeah.
There's a question from Narottam Nitai. Narottam Nitai, Prabhu, would you like to unmute yourself and read your question?
Yes, I can do that. Hare Krishna. Dandavats. I want to ask, well, sometimes when I'm chanting, I'm not able to pronounce the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra properly, and I know you said that it's important to at least try to pronounce it properly. And I wanted to ask, is this an indication that maybe I should be doing some other service, or doing kirtan to, and then come back to chanting? The reason I'm asking this is because there are times when I can pronounce it properly and it's wonderful, and other times I'm not able to pronounce properly, and I just wanted to know if I should take a break at that time, or is that more of a personal level? Yeah.
A horse sacrifice, Narottam Nitai, Prabhu. Horse sacrifice will help.
So yeah. So the tapasya is, there are two things, Prabhu. One is willful, negligent japa. So when I was telling about that, so that is a negligent japa. So we are not attentive in our japa. So that is like we have the opportunity to pronounce properly, but still we are not focusing on it. We are not giving its due importance. So that Lord doesn't appreciate. But if we have some defects, drishtai svabhava janitai vapushascha doshai. So naprakritatvamiva bhakta janasya paschet. So a nectar of instruction it comes. So if you have some problem, or different, so there can be various inbuilt shortcomings. So that Lord doesn't take into consideration. That's okay, And then if you are really tired, so but it's always good that we take a break and then do the japa later. So, but japa is important. Kirtan is also there, but japa is for our self-discipline. Like this is very important. So Lord personally told, please do tapasya. So it's important, though we may like it or we may not like it. Tapasya is what? So go against our comfort zone, little bit beyond our comfort zone. That is tapasya, penance. So then, and Lord doesn't take those mistakes that are inherent. So that is okay. Lord doesn't take that seriously. So it said, Murkha vadati Vishnaya, Dhira vadati Vishnave, Ubhaya labati samam punyam, Bhavagrahi Janardhana. So as per the Sanskrit, we have to say Vishnave Namaha, Gurave Namaha. But we say, okay, Vishnaya Namaha. Sanskrit, grammatically that is wrong. But both will get the same benediction and benefit because Krishna is Bhavagrahi Janardhana. Krishna knows the intention. But if you are not attentive, then that is a problem. I think the conch is about to blow. Yeah. Thank you all for your patience. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Nice class, Krishna Daya Prabhu. Thank you. Karen, I second your comment in the chat. No matter how long we sleep or forget Krishna, Krishna will come back and wake us up and engage us in devotional service. Wonderful point. I feel reassured. Krishna wants us to fight. Krishna wants us to use common sense, to use anger when it's necessary. And we can follow all the rules if that helps our bhakti. There are some demons who follow all the rules. They're very dharmic, but they're demons. Like Hiranyakashipu, he was super dharmic. But where's bhakti? There's no bhakti there. So we can follow the rules. And Maharaj Parikshit was following all the rules. He was very dharmic and very devotional. He was one of the 5 Pandavas. So dharmic, adharmic, our criteria is whether we're choosing to please Krishna or not. That's the criteria. Jeffrey Eckler Prabhu. If you're thinking of performing tapasya, do it for Krishna. Okay, any comments, any reflections before we go and fight for Krishna? Okay, it was nice seeing everyone. Don't be discouraged. We love you. We need you. Thank you, Jeffrey Eckler. Yeah, see, the universe is heating from Jeffrey Eckler Prabhu's austerity, from his steadiness. And it's all done in Krishna's service. Sundaranandaji, your hair is down. Put it up.
Okay, I will do that. Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Hare Krishna. We love you. Hare Krishna.